At the outset prelude here, I know this video is long, but for those seriously interested in seeing a side-by-side comparison of the very latest versions of Real Flight and the Aerofly simulator, you're going to want to watch to the end, I am sure. Both programs are good for learning which way to move the transmitter sticks, etc., and each has some unique features, so I want to show them both to you. I know once a person buys a sim, they stick with it and rarely buy another brand, so they really don't know anything about any others, and of course defend what they now fly. Here's my intro.
Hello folks. Well, most of you know what simulator I fly with and have seen the many videos I've made on this German program and have online on my channel. So every month in all the model airplane magazines I get are ads for Real Flight and how it's #1 simulator. So I went online to steampower.com and purchased the latest version of Real Flight and began flying it. Now, I've got friends that swear by Real Flight but never owned Aerofly, so they really don't know the difference.
My criteria for all my models is that since they're my own personal air show, I want them to look good, fly like they should, and be in familiar places. I like to also absolutely program my transmitter and other features to make it as real to my flying as possible.
Aerofly does all that for me with an easy interface to get into all the programs. I'm going to show you side-by-side comparisons of the two programs so you can see the difference. First, here's what the openings of both programs look like and the menus. I know the transmitter is going to need calibrating, so I'm going to go see if I can find that in the menu. Found it. Still looking for brakes. I can't find them at the moment, but I'm sure they're in here. I'll find them somewhere. Well, so far, I can't find anywhere how to use the brakes, open or close the canopies, lower the resting hooks, or many other useful items that I'm used to, but I'm sure it must be in here somewhere. Well, I have the Floyd music loop turned on in the program already, so that's why you're hearing it. You can put all kinds of music in the background while you're flying, or you don't have to have any music, or you can put in your own music. All kinds of settings are available that you can get into for your graphics, everything, view settings, so no matter what kind of computer you have, you can adjust it. This was the model, the scenery, and the music that I already have previously set up. It remembers it, so when you come back on, you're right where you were. Here I'm showing how to program the transmitter controls. It's real easy. You can go up and down, you can change your keyboard, you can put it on the transmitter, you can adjust any switch you want. My transmitter is already calibrated, so there's no need to show you that, but I'm showing you how easy this is to calibrate your transmitter, any transmitter. And I'm using the Spectrum dongle. And there's many keyboard shortcuts, so you can push a button and open and close the canopy or turn on your lights or whatever you want to do. Or you can do it on the transmitter too. Okay, well, starting with Real Flight, I'm going to look for two aircraft that are the same type and in both programs. So first I'm looking at Real Flight for the F4U Corsair. Yeah, I've looked and I've looked and I've looked. And unless you know how to read and unless you know what brand companies are calling their aircraft, you're going to have to click on each one to see it in the window. They're in alphabetical order, but many start with a brand name like E-Flight Timber, E-Flight Timber 2, M-Flight. I mean, it goes on and on. But to actually see it, you have to click on it. I also notice there's no way to scale the model bigger or smaller or to change much about it, color combinations or so, but it's probably in there somewhere. This is frustrating. I'm still looking for Corsair. Can't figure out what they called it. Maybe they don't have one. Oh, I knew it had to be in there. It's under Top Flight F4 Corsair. So here's how the F4U Corsair looks and flies on the Real Flight 9.5S at the AMA flying site. This is their 3D flying site, which is a photo field. That means it has a real picture background. This is not computer generated. And I don't see that they have a computer generated version of the AMA flying site in their menu. So we're just going to deal with this right now. Well, I've got this on auto zoom and it's zoomed in absolutely as far as it will go. Since I can't make the plane any bigger and I can't zoom it in any further, it gets a little difficult at distance to see which way you're going. Here you can see how easily I can pick aircraft by the pictures, adjust their size and mass, plus change the color combinations. On the left are categories that separate the helis from the aircraft, drones, etc. Plus there are several full-size models that can be flown like the P-51. If you simply right-click anywhere on the screen in Aerofly, you can get into your menu to adjust your airplanes, the size. Here I'm adjusting the size down to the smaller size, the same size that's on Real Flight, to be fair. Well, this is the AMA site. This is the 3D site on Aerofly that's got the real picture for the background. This is the F4U Corsair enlarged to 200% with a high weight mass adjusted also. It's a lot of fun to fly, and it is at the AMA 4D cartoon site, I call them that. That's the computer generated backgrounds. Yes, checking the brakes. And you're right. If you put them on too fast or too hard, you're going to flip it over. Okay, let's try a different airplane. And I think the Skywalker is on both of them. So here we go with the real flight and the Skywalker. Here I'm going to adjust it up to 200% size. Well, this is real flight on the cartoon site flying a heli,
Seems I need to move 2 switches on my transmitter to fly 3D, not just one like I'm used to on my real helicopters. And if you crash this, a reminder pops up to tell you to put the switches all back. Here the T-Rex 500 is on real flight in one of their best photo scenes. You know, if you're going to fly through these really difficult tunnels to fly through on Aerofly, you really need to know how to use that rudder. And also, it probably is not a real good idea to go in with floats, because once I touched down, I couldn't get it back airborne again. And believe me, this is not an easy tunnel to fly through. So, let's put the Beaver with wheels. Here we go. This is work. Throttle, rudder, ailerons, elevator, man. Oh, but it's so easy to crash in here. I tried to find a good runway and a jet with the turbine. There aren't many, one or two here. So I got this F-86 so it would be fair to fly with my Phantom. Here you can see it flying on real flight, and does some unusual stuff, these airplanes. Like, I get a full, if I give too much control, it's like a, I don't know, a too much exponential dumped into it or something. It's not very realistic. Also, I'm not sure how to get the throttle to go down on the turbine because it's way too fast to land this thing, and there's no brakes that I've found yet. So you could dead stick it. That's about it. You got to hit the K. This is my favorite jet to fly on Aerofly. This is the RF-4B Phantom that I was involved with in the Marine Corps. Also, you might know there are all kinds of jet airplanes on Aerofly with real turbines, and of course they can all be scaled up or down and adjusted so you can fly them like real ones or like models. So here we go. Well, I got the turbulence turned way up, so it's a lot of fun to practice this way. You know, good practice with the rudder. So, here we go.
Well, it's very hard to fly with a lack of red and green lights on the airplanes, and most of them don't have it, or they have a lot of neon stuff on there that still doesn't help you with your orientation when you're flying on the ground. So I'm a little disappointed in that right here. But the ground's lit up nice.
not sure why you want to eject parts on your airplane other than you're going to make it crash, and it's definitely not something that you would do at the real flying sites with your real airplane. But if you like to crash, here's how you do it. Just eject something. This is how you can easily pick out the flying site you want to fly to. There's pictures and everything here and a big description on the right. And on the left they're listed in 3D, 4D, multi-panoramas, panoramas. It's all pretty cool. Here you can see I'm putting the parameters on the screen. You can put any parameter on there, wind speed, airspeed, all that stuff. Move them around on the screens. I normally only have the wind on there, because when I'm flying online, these guys sometimes have the wind way turned up and I want to know which direction it's going. So the compass and the wind is good. Here, this is altitude thing that's pretty cool. You turn this on and it tells you right there how many feet you're off the ground. That's 4 feet. And as you go up, it will increase, as you can see. And that's how you can tell your altitude. It's kind of fun to fly that way. So here I've turned on another visual aid that was pretty cool. This is the flight path, and you can follow yourself around and create some pretty wild patterns. Well, folks, there's a lot more in both programs, contests, races, etc. to show you. But this should give you an idea of how it flies and how the graphics look, and you can make up your own mind what you like. I know I did. Thanks a lot for watching, and please note that I have many simulator videos on my webpage, so please check them out, and if you don't mind, please subscribe. Thanks again, and God bless. This is Dave the Night Flyer, signing off for now.